everyone. This is KJ here. I hope you are doing well. You can see my Christmas lights are back, and my husband put them up because he heard some people are putting back up some lights just to help things be a little bit more cheery in our time of social distancing and self-quarantine. So I hope all of you are doing well. Today is a chance to earn back some points on the 3.06 quiz. As always, have your periodic table, cheat sheet, calculator, pen, and paper ready. While we wait, write your favorite carbonated beverage below. So obviously this isn't a live class, but I want you to think, which one is your favorite carbonated beverage? How would you describe your carbonated beverage if it didn't have enough carbon dioxide dissolved in it? So what's a common word that we would use? So not a chemistry word, but a common word. We would probably say that it is very flat, right? We'd have a very flat soda because it didn't have enough carbon dioxide in it. If your drink tastes too watery, what would we say? That it was too molarity, too molality, too concentrated, too dilute, or too I don't know. So which one? As you can see, my cat's like, oh, you're recording? Please let me be around it too. And so if your drink tastes too watery, even though it is a chemistry word, this is a word we use a lot in everyday life, we would say it is too dilute, too dilute. If your drink tastes watery, we would say it is too dilute. Mark the words below that describe the concentration of a solution. I'm going to pause for a little bit. Which one of those words talks about concentration of a solution? Molarity, molality, moles, concentrated, mass percentage, solubility, pressurized. So the ones that are talking about concentration, molarity, and molality, because those are the ones that we were talking about, how much solute compared to the solution, or how much solute compared to kilograms of the solvent. The word concentrated is obviously one, concentrated or dilute, and also mass percentage. All of those are ways to describe if something is very concentrated or if it is diluted. Do you remember lesson 1.05? We looked at this food analogy and we talked about the percent composition of our s'mores. We said 26 graham crackers, 16 chocolate squares, 40 marshmallows. And when we did, trying to move my webcam thing out here out of the way, when we did the percent mass of marshmallows in a s'more, we had to have the mass of each part. And then anytime you have a percentage, it's the part divided by the whole thing times 100. For example, we would have our marshmallows being on top, which were 7.1 grams. We'd have our total on the bottom. So I added up the mass of the marshmallows, the chocolate squares, and the graham crackers times 100 means that 16%, 16.10% of my s'more by mass is the marshmallow. So the other about 84% of the mass of the weight is the chocolate and the graham crackers, which makes sense. I mean, marshmallows are supposed to be light and fluffy, okay? So that was a review from what we did from Unit 1. Well, now we're doing that same idea, except we are going to do it with liquids. So we are going to talk about POG. POG is not carbonated. I know I said earlier to think of your favorite carbonated beverage, but POG is amazing. So we're just going to pause for a little bit for a commercial about POG. POG is super crazy popular in Hawaii, where it was first made, to the point where, look at this, Hawaiian residents drink more than 1.3 million gallons each month. Like when you go to the grocery store, you know how we see milk here in the lower 48 states? When you go to Hawaii, there's an entire section right next to the milk of POG. It's amazing. All right, so if you want to read more, you can hit pause and read this little blurb about it, but oh my gosh, it's amazing. Its recipe is 200 milliliters of passion fruit, 100 milliliters of orange juice, and 200 milliliters of guava juice. And I did round the numbers so they were easier for us to deal with. What percentage of POG's amazingness is due to guava? All right, so when we are talking about percentage, we need to think, what part do we want? What is our total? And then what is our answer? So out of this, what do we want? We want the guava, and the guava is how much? 200 milliliters. And our total is how much? 200 for the passion fruit, 100 for the orange juice, 200 again. So 200 plus 100 plus 500. 200 is 500. And what are we going to do with these two numbers? We are going to divide them and then do what else to find our answer? I know you guys see me looking down. Those of you watching this, let me know, do you like me having the webcam on when I do this, or is it distracting? Because I have to look down to type in my stuff and that, so I really don't know. So give me some feedback on that. And then we're going to multiply it by 100, and we are going to get our percent as 40%. So 40% of POG is the guava juice. We are going to change it up a little bit now. We are going to say if POG was made into a concentrate so it could be shipped to Minnesota for Mrs. KJ's birthday present, woohoo, how much guava juice would be dissolved in 3,900 grams of POG? So I reminded us that the percentage is 40% of POG is guava juice. And again, this number isn't random. 3,900 grams is about a gallon. So I'm trying to choose numbers that hopefully you're like, oh, okay, you can at least picture it in real life. Where are you even going to start? So hit pause if you need a second to think about it. We're going to use our equation. Our part divided by our whole times 100 equals the percent. So we are going to use that same equation. So hit pause again if you need to, and let me know where are you going to put what number. We have our part, which is going to be our guava, which we don't know yet, divided by the whole. So the entire thing was 3,900 gallons, or 3,900 grams equals 1 gallon, times 100 equals 40%. So now you need to mathematically solve the equation. So hopefully some of you are like, oh yeah, no big deal. For others, let's start with this 40%. How is that going to go in your calculator? Well, we want to solve for our grams of guava. So our first thing is, let's get rid of that percentage. Divide both sides by 100. So if we divide by 100, go ahead and put it in your calculator if you need to. 40 divided by 100 is going to give you 0.4. And that got rid of our 100 as well. So now we have grams for our guava divided by 3,900 grams equals 0.4. If we want our grams of guava by itself, how do we move the 3,900? We multiply both sides by it. So we'll cancel off on the left, multiply it by on the right, and our total amount of guava is 1,560. 1,560 what? What's our unit? We want it in grams. And let's recap what we did. We knew the percentage, so we could put the percentage in our formula up here. We knew our total mass was 3,900 grams, so that was our whole thing, and we were solving for the part. So we divided by 100 to get our percentage back into a decimal, and then we multiplied everything by the whole, and that gave us our 1,560 grams of guava. Again, with anything else, if you have questions, please let me know. All right, so what you need to email me for your points is 3.06. Make sure you email me all of this. So email me 3.06 and the question. How much orange juice would be dissolved in 3,900 grams of POG concentrate? Okay, so exactly what we just did. We have our total, and we have the percentage of orange juice this time. If they forgot the guava, and it was 250 mils passion fruit and 130 mils of OJ, what percent would be OJ? Yes, I know I messed these percentages up a little bit. That's not quite the recipe, but I didn't want to make it too easy. So go ahead and put those in your calculator too. It does help if you want to show me what you put in your calculator in case you get it wrong. Otherwise, write it down so if you do get it wrong and I say, what'd you put in your calculator, you can just look it up that way. All right, let me know if you have any questions. Bye.